Good morning, everybody. Say hello, Mr. Furling. My goodness, has he not grown? Look how big he's getting. He's my baby. Remember when I used to put him on here and I was able to hold him in one hand? Now look at this. He's 2 hands full of doggy. Say hello, Mr. Furley. Say hello. He loves being in front of the camera. And then whenever he's doing something cute and I'll grab my phone to take a picture of him with, he'll stop whatever it is he's doing and he'll just sit down and stare at me. So he likes being on front of the camera. Now hopefully he'll let me do this video. Okay, baby. Now get down. I know most of you have probably heard by now about the woman in Winsboro, Los Angeles. I believe that's where it's at. She's 20 years old, Sharmeka Moffitt. I want to get that name right, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. She'd been on a trail and had called 911 and said that 3 men in white hoodies had attacked her and set her on fire, and that they had wrote KKK on her vehicle. So Sharmeka is a black woman. So you got everybody out looking for these 3 members of the Ku Klux Klan that set her on fire and wanted to bring harm to her. And there's a lot of people starting to think that the KKK was doing this, that, and the other, and it was about to cause a big problem. So come to find out, well, she's still in critical condition, but come to find out, as the investigation has gone on, Sharmeka Moffitt has done this to herself. There were no 3 men in hoodies. There were no KKK. She did it all herself. She wrote that on her own vehicle, and she doused herself with a flammable liquid and set herself on fire. Why do people do these things? They said they haven't been able to question her as to why she did it. They know she did it because of DNA. Her fingerprints were on the flammable liquids, the containers, the lighters, the instruments that were used to write the KKK had her fingerprints. Her DNA was on all of that, so she did that. Why would she want to make up this story? Why would she want to set herself on fire? Does she not know that that's going to hurt? It's kind of strange reasoning behind it. It's almost like you want to start a riot between the races, and for what? I don't understand. And at the same time, when all this happened, somebody had set up a Facebook page. I think it was saying justice for Sharmeka Moffitt, or prayers for Sharmeka Moffitt, or something like that. Anyway, that was on the news. So I looked it up on Facebook, and I went to that page, and people were offering their sympathies, and their apologies and their prayers. And it was a very touching page. And so when this came out, I decided to go back on there and see what they were saying on that page now. But that page is gone. That page has been taken down. And it's been replaced with a page that says Sharmeka Moffitt owes, let's see, how was it? It says Sharmeka Moffitt owes America an apology. And people on there voicing their opinions to her about how she needs to apologize and how wrong she was for what she did. And the reason I say I wanted to spell her name right was on that page for prayers for her or whatever, I think it was her cousin, they got upset and said they couldn't even spell her name right. If you're going to put her name down, be sure you spell it right. So I want to be sure I had it right. Sharmeka. Sharmeka Moffitt did this to herself. This is sort of like a case that happened back in 2010, and I did a video about that too, but I don't remember what the woman's name was, but I'm sure most of you remember her. She said that she was walking into a Starbucks to get her some coffee, and that oh, I got a tickle on my throat. Excuse me. And she said that this woman, she said she'd bought a pair of sunglasses, which was unusual because she never wore sunglasses. But that day she said she bought a pair of sunglasses. and said a woman walked up to her with a cup in her hand and said, "Hey, pretty girl, want to drink some of this?" and then threw acid in her face. And she said those sunglasses she bought was the only thing that saved her eyesight. I mean, she had the whole story down pat and talked about it being a black woman and the woman ran away and blah, 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 blah. And so you come to find out after all that happened, she did that to herself. And she bought the sunglasses so she wouldn't blind herself. But she's the one who had the cup of acid. She threw the cup of acid in her own face for publicity purposes. And what did that ever prove? What was the point behind all that? You know, because that's just scary. I would imagine to some of these people that do these things, they're not in their right mind. They can't be. But to them, thinking about doing this is just like us thinking about eating a bologna sandwich. You know, it just sounds perfectly normal. And, you know, I don't understand their reasoning. But nonetheless. Well, come here, Mr. Furley. Come on. He's been all over my feet since I've been doing this video, and now yeah, here he is. You want to say bye? We're done with the video. You want to say bye now? You want to give him sugars? You want to say bye? Look in the camera. Look in the camera and say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye, Mr. Furley. Can you bark? Can you go, whoop? What is it? What is it, Mr. Furley? He's so much fun. I love him. Anyway, until next time, bye-bye.